Talofa. This is step 5 of the 5 practices. Thank you. We're almost done. This is connecting student approaches to each other and to the mathematics that we wanted to achieve for the day. This is the 5th step. So making sure we always are keeping our learning goals in mind. We want to make sure we are clear on where we're going for the day. I wanted to make sure in this set of lessons that there were connections between algebraic expressions and visual patterns, and I wanted the students to explain. During the sequencing, in the book, there talks about these moves to hold students accountable for what's going on in class. It's important during the discussion that students realize all of it is important. So revoicing is repeating what a student said to be sure that all heard. We don't want to take the ownership of the statement away from a student, but if a student speaks too quietly, we're going to repeat it loudly so that all students can be sure that they heard what that student said. It was important. I asked the student to speak because it was important for all of us to hear them. We could ask, another way to hold a student accountable is to ask students to restate someone else's reasoning or solution. So if one student's explained something and another one's sort of looks a little unsure, Timote, could you explain what they were doing? What did they just say? And I'm not trying to call them on paying attention in class. I'm just trying to get them to speak what they heard, and that will help them think better. Just asking them to restate it in their own words or repeat what they said gets them involved in class and lets them know all of the words being said here are important. Every student's words are important to the learning. That's an important thing to remember. We could ask students to apply their reasoning or solution to someone else's. Ask the students what connections they see between the different approaches and presentations. Do you see the connection between what they did and what they did? Help me. Describe that connection. And prompting the students for further participation. Do you have more to say about that? Does anyone see it another way? Could someone put that in another set of words to explain what's happening here? These are all things we could do for further participation. And the last one is use wait time. Wait time is the amount of space between the last time the teacher spoke and the next sound in the classroom, whether that's the teacher's voice or the student's. So waiting for a student tells them, I value what you're going to say, and it's worthwhile to wait for you to figure out how to say it. Waiting for the student to speak. Studies show we tend to wait for students we think who are smart. So make sure you wait for all of them, but give that space, that time. It's okay to have quiet in the classroom. It means we're thinking, using the wait time. Okay, but these connections that we are making during discussions, we want to make sure these connections are made in every student's mind. And we want to make sure to end the lesson with a conclusion that makes the mathematics the students were to learn very clear. Do you see where n plus 3n plus 3n is shown on the happy faces? That is what I wanted you to see today. Make sure the students know the learning objective. There are connections between algebraic expressions and visual pictures and how it connects to the problem discussed. Make sure you save time at the end of the lesson to make these things very clear to the students. They leave the room knowing they know what they were supposed to learn for the day. So here are the 5 practices again, just to remind you of what they were. You found an interesting, worthwhile task. You anticipated answers. You monitored students. You selected the approaches. You sequenced the approaches. You made sure connecting was happening during the presentation and the wrap up of the lesson. I hope this helps you in your classrooms. Have wonderful discussions with your students. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.